women's singles semi-final day at the Lipton. Monica Seles and Nathalie Tauziat in a moment.
Back on headsets. Okay. So we're staying? It's already 40 love here, by the way. Yes.
Yeah. We're in the first game of the match. It has just been won by Nathalie Tauziat of France.
Nice simple game, 4 straight points for Tauziat, and that's important because I really feel that if there's one thing that Seles can hit on, it's Nathalie's short second serve. That, to my mind, is her biggest weakness going in against the young Yugoslav. Monica, as we've said, plays such hardball. I mean, she really pounds her ground strokes. Her return of serve especially is very, very aggressive. If there is a weakness to her game, it's the fact that she too can have a very short second serve.
On her strengths, Mary, also she hits the ball so early, almost earlier than anybody else in women's tennis, don't you think?
Because, that's right, and because she does, Cliff, she can find angles that most of the other women can't find. You know, she takes it early, she steps into the ball, into the court, and finds half-court angles that many other players just aren't finding.
And it kind of keeps you on your heels when you play against her too, because she hits the ball so flat, and add that to those angles, and you have to work when you play against her.
You do, and the thing is, what also is very intimidating about Seles is that she grunts so hard as she strikes every single ball that it seems the ball's coming even harder than it really is. Well, listen for her. Like that. And of course, Nathalie Tauziat will be facing that all day long. She's a 9th seed. She comes in, and as we've said, she's been playing very well. She's got great feel and timing, a very natural player, good hands and good feet. Her ground strokes are basically what got her to this round. But again, her second serve can be very attackable.
Conventional wisdom among tennis coaches always said, Mary, that you could play singles with 2 hands on one side, but if you had 2 hands on both sides, you're a good doubles player, but you couldn't get away with it in singles, and yet she does. Seles.
There's that touch we were talking about. Of course, I wasn't talking about touch quite that good. Hit the net and rolled over. But Nathalie is a very, very talented player. I think what she's going to want to try to do, though, is get Seles stretching. If she can get her to one hand, of course, the shot will become more defensive. It's got to be very good, though, because if she doesn't, she'll give Monica the angle she loves.
They have never played each other before. .30 all, and the winner of this match will take on Conchita Martinez of Spain, who beat Gabriela Sabatini yesterday. You know that if you were watching our telecast. Or Judith Wiesner of Austria.
30-40.
3 in a row for Nathalie Tauziat. Break point.
There's a break. First double fault of the match gives you first break.
2 games to 0.
To answer my own question about Monica Seles' game, Mary, I think that she gets away with being able to play with two hands on both sides because of what we had talked about, and that is her ground strokes hit with so much authority, hit so early and hit so flat that she keeps her opponents on their heels.
Got it.
Love 15. You cannot get away with it if you play defensive tennis. There she was, born in Yugoslavia, now living in Sarasota, Florida. 16.
Officially, it's you should know that she is a lefty. She's sort of a lefty-righty, but
little wristy on off that particular forehand, Natalie Tauziat. Anytime you get the wrist involved in a shot, look out, because it'll fly on you. And that's what happened to her there. Triple break point coming up.
Tauziat has, as you can see, she was born in Africa, lived there for the first 8 years of her life. Then she moved to France. She started playing tennis at age 9.
She has her own place in Saint-Tropez. She whacks that ground stroke, doesn't she? She has broken, has Monica Seles. 2-1 on serve, first set.
Right. You don't want to go there, do you?
He's another one of the all business players. I mean, she doesn't mess about. She gets out there, swings, and as soon as the point is over, gets on with the next one.
Had some good wins last year, 1989, the best wins for Tauziat. She beat Manuela Maleva and Natalia Zvereva, two top tenors. She's shanked a couple of forehands already today. Again, it's the combination of power and spin on that ball from Seles. It's coming at her awfully quick.
Tauziat lost to Chris Evert, who got the final here last year. Chris, of course, was beaten by Sabatini. Seles holds on. We're back even. First set, 2-2 all. But at the Italian, as you said, Mir, she has had some good wins. She beat Manuela Maleva there and Judith Wiesner, and she lost to Arantxa Sanchez in the final. US Open, though, Manuela Maliva turned the tables on her, beat her easily at the Flushing Meadow on the Flushing Meadow hard courts after Toziat had beaten Kathy Rinaldi. That's how things stack up in the women's draw. Conchita Martinez, who beat Sabatini yesterday, will play Judith Wiesner today. And the match that you're watching, Monica Seles and Toziat of France in the other semi. Natalie Toziat will probably go down in history as one of the players that lost to Jennifer Capriati in her debut, Virginia Slims of Florida. 6-4, 6-2 in the round of 16.
Again, more hard hitting. This cross court is what opened up the court for Seles, because it had to be a, she got it right back. That one right there puts Toziat on the defensive, and of course now she finds the open court easily. And a break point again.
30-40.
Seles has broken Toziat already once, but she in turn was broken in her first serve game.
Breaker serve, 3-2 for Monica Seles in the semi-final of the women's singles.
A couple of clouds in the sky, as you see. Otherwise, it is, well, a little hazy out here in South Florida in the Miami area, but very pleasant in general. This is Seles serving 3-2. First set, she's ahead. Long.
Love 15.
Seles had a remarkable year in 1989. 3 semifinals and 2 final singles victory in Houston, though. We're unseeded. Only her second term as a pro, she beat Chris Evans.
Another backhand winner. That's her 5th of the match. As a matter of fact, all of her winners have come off that backhand side. Of course, she's got 2 hands off both sides, but on the backhand side, that's her more natural side. Off her forehand, she's got her grip-wise, she's cross-handed. She hits as hard, but not quite as freely off the forehand. Ted Tinling of the Virginia Slims and also the chief of protocol for the Lipton tournament is a very big fan of Monica Seles. He saw her coming a couple of years ago and really likes the way she's playing. I know he's watching from the hospital today. We hope he's feeling well. I'm sure this will cheer him up. We're all thinking about you, Ted.
13 all.
I'll second that. We wish you a very speedy recovery. One of the game's brightest stars for a long time. Hasn't lost a set this week.
One of the best things about this game, Ted Tinling. So after dropping the first 2 games, Seles on a trot here, point for her 4th straight.
She gives her the extra squeak, doesn't she, when she knows she's going to hit it for a winner. Agassi used to do that. He's calmed that down just a little bit now because the rest of the players on the men's tour finally started to get to him. It was a lot of noise because sometimes he'd think what was going to be a win and give it that extra kind of puff and wouldn't always win the point. 4-2, Seles.
Now 15.
Quarterfinals in '87. Here at Lipton, her best finish. Oh.
30-15.
30-15. Even that overhead, she waits instead of hitting it with the overhead smash. She wait for it, let it drop, and whack the two-handed smash. Unbelievable shot. Take a look at this now. Her choice is just to get underneath the ball, swing it, but no, she just waits and hits it like a kind of a ground stroke swing.
30-40.
Nine winners, 3 times as many as her opponent today.
And another break point. This will give her his 3rd break of the set.
Game Seles. Ball change.
Monica Seles will serve for the first set at 5-2 when we come back. First set, the French last year, she beat Zina Garrison and Joanne Fall, and then Manuela Maliva in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals. Steffi Graf beat her there, but it was a tough match if you remember it. 6-3 in the 3rd set for Graf.
Straight games from Monica Seles. And you wonder what's going through Toziat's mind now. She must be thinking about trying to change things around stylistically. She's just feeding Celis winners. Whoa, that one overplayed.
Love 13.
Monica Seles actually, to me, my eye, is a women's version of an Andre Agassi or a Jim Courier as early as they hit the ball. Oh, yeah. Very smooth. And 2 break points for Toziat now.
I think Celis must feel that's a flat ball.
Apparently the
She
umpire
probably broke it.
umpire agrees, so Marlene takes the ball out of play. That's right.
Game shot.
5-3. Still a serve break in hand for Celis.
A rushed game there, though, for Monica, who wanted to close that thing down. She's just got to relax a little bit here. She plays so quickly, an awful lot like Jennifer Capriati. Just charges through each point, gets on with it. Give me the ball is what she seems to be thinking to herself all day long.
Baseball tonight on ESPN at 11 o'clock Eastern time. That's on, of course, every night. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Wednesdays, we have coverage of a great game, national pastime of baseball.
Broken string.
Left first service.
Toziat has asked for and has gotten first serve for the delay.
Monica Seles at the Virginia Slims Championships the end of last year beat one of the players left in the women's singles, Conchita Martinez, easily 6-love, 6-1 before she lost a close one to Martina Navratilova. 7-5 in the third. Just joined us in the men's singles quarterfinal just before this match started. Stefan Edberg only just won his quarterfinal match over Jakob Plasek.
14-15.
3 tiebreakers.
And after dropping 5 straight games in a row, Natalie Tauziat has a chance now to win another, draw this a lot closer than it was. To 5-4.
Called wide.
40-30.
Still game point. You suspected Mary she'll jump on this any short serve. It's her bread and butter play, Sellis, and it's worked a few times for her today, including that one. Deuce. She covers the court so well too. Make a drop shot like that, it has to be almost perfect. This one a bad one. What's this?
She just kept pounding away, got a shorter and shorter ball, and she tracked this one very well.
Set point. Oh yeah, big return of serve, unbelievable angle, and the first set to the number 3 seed, Monica Seles. Surrounds this beautiful island paradise of Key Biscayne is really something special. I suppose it's that way in all the South Florida Keys. It's kind of an aqua blue. It's just beautiful. It's not very deep out there, by the way. Well, I mean, it is in certain parts, of course, but close inside here, it's people seem to be able to walk out there without much problem for miles. But it's the color of the water that is so beautiful. Seles has won the first set in the semi-final match, 6-3. She'll start out the second set. Coverage of the Lipton this year going to Australia, of course. That's who Fred Starley's talking to today.
15-30.
Germany, Canada, for those of you who have tuned in to watch Subaru Ski World, tennis is going just a little longer than we had anticipated, with that first men's singles match going way over what a singles match of about 3 sets would normally do. So hold on. 30 all.
13-14.
break point. First game, second set. That's wide. To me, I love to watch Seles play, Mary, but it's kind of emotionless tennis. And she keeps going through the same thing. Doesn't matter whether she's up 40 love or break point in the third set. Whacks the ball the same way. Seems to have no nerves at all. And as soon as the point's over, bam, she's ready to get on with the next one. Deuce.
Advantage Georgia.
Another break point. That's wide, and Seles has lost her first game of the second set.
Welcome back. The numbers from the first set suggest that it's Seles that's trying to dictate the play most of the time. She's making her share of winners, but her fair share of unforced errors too. So in other words, she's trying to be the aggressor on every point. She's also serving an awful lot better than Nathalie Tauziat. But again, what separates her, I feel, from the rest of the field is that return. And Monica understands more than anyone except Steffi Graf how important it is to attack attackable serves. And she does it better than anyone except for Steffi Graf on the women's side.
30 love. She is the top-seeded player left in the women's division. Gabriela Sabatini beaten yesterday. Zina Garrison out early. First match that she played to Julie Hallau of France. Great stuff. What a shot. That drop shot will work, but you got to choose your time, and that's perfect. And what this does, Mary, when you hit a shot like this, is it really keeps you on your heels, because you're having to track these things down all day, and then suddenly you're looking for another one, and then comes the drop shot. Next time you're at the back of the court whacking from the baseline, and you've got to be looking for that shot as well.
Great changeup, very sneaky.
Break point. Number 4 seed, Manuela Maliva, also out. Of course, she lost to Judith Wiesner. It's Manuela Maliva. Seles breaks back. It is 1 game all in the second set. Judith Wiesner, 24-year-old from Austria, will play the semi-final of the women's singles against Conchita Martinez, Spain.
Nice aggression there. from Tozia. These two seem to be returning better than their serving of the 11 games played thus far in the match. There have been 8 breaks. Now, I asked Natalie Tozia right before the match, how are you going to play Seles? She hits so hard, she returns so big. What are you going to do against her? Here's what she said.
I never play her, so I try first to play my game and see what's happening. But I think she didn't like the top spin, and so I tried to make some top spin in the middle and try to serve well and come in the net sometimes, and we see what's happening.
She spoke about she wants us to go 3 sets. Let's see if she does change up and try to ride the ball up a little bit higher against Seles. She's not doing a good enough job trying to pound with her, is she?
No, the problem is that topspin, I think, is probably a good idea against Seles, but you've got to hit it pretty well. It's got to be a natural shot, otherwise that topspin will land short, and if you hit a ball short to Seles, then look out. Comes back again, Monica Seles leads it 2-1 on serve. Second set, she won the first.
The Mashta thing? The Mushta thing? What was that?
The Mushta estate, yeah.
Yeah, the Mushtas. You could have done that. A salute to the Mushtas. You could have done your old Island Paradise thing.
I haven't beaten that one to death this year yet.
You got something to drink, Grady?
Time.
7 up, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats.
Yeah, they're going to be ready to play when we
Water.
come back, I think.
Thanks.
Two games to 1, Seles, and 1 set to love.
Love 15.
Toziat serving, love 15. Game number 4. 18 winners for Seles. It's a big number in just 9, 10, 11, or 13 games. 13th game up now.
Love 13.
Love 30.
There's that advertised changeup.
Love 14.
Made the error after 2. It's as you say, Cliffy, she's going away from her own strengths, her own flat, hard-hitting strengths, to try to derail Seles.
Break point. 3 of them for Seles now. Natalie Tauziat, by the way, has only held serve once in the match. That was her first serve game of it. Since then, she hasn't held.
Another loopy forehand from Tauziat drew an error there, but still she's in danger of getting broken for the 6th straight time.
Oh, short serve. She will whack that thing. Next weekend here on ESPN, starting next Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The 1990 Davis Cup, USA versus Czechoslovakia from Prague. Mary, Fred and I will be taking the trip over there starting early next week. And then, of course, on Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, doubles action live, and then the reverse singles at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday. That's all next weekend. Second round of the Davis Cup competition for this year. The USA beat Mexico in the first round.
This has turned into a mugging.
15 down.
One set, 3-1, 15-love Celis, the number 3 seed.
Here's the high stuff.
Wide, just wide. She's the number 1 player in France, Natalie Tauziat. Ranked number 16 in the world. Already played a singles final this year on the Kraft General Foods World Tour, Wichita, Kansas. Game point.
Game Celis.
Monica Seles enjoying a great day, especially on serve return, is way ahead in the match.
Celis leads by 4 games to 1.
Can we just have her go down there? Let me call the rest of the match on my own.
Time. Seats please, quiet please. Thank you.
The flags are flying. The International Tennis Center on Key Biscayne. This is live coverage of the Lipton for 1990 women's singles semi-final day. There has been, of course, some quarterfinal men's singles action already. The men, at least 2 of them anyway, are in the semi-finals. Emilio Sanchez will play Edberg tomorrow.
La 15.
There is a U.S. Professional Tennis Association tournament being run concurrently with this on the outer courts. Tim Wilkerson, who's still on the tour, is playing in it. Expected to win.
La 30.
That's wide. In the men's doubles here at the Lipton this year, the top seeds Aldridge and Visser out. Rod Dyke and Naduka Odazor, they're still in the tournament. So is Becker and Monta, Cassio Monta. And good news for USA, Leach and Pugh still in the men's doubles competition. They'll play Sergio Casal and Emilio Sanchez next. And then they'll take their trip to Prague for the Davis Cup.
First service.
Women's doubles, Novotny and Sukova, the top seeds, are still in. So are Adams and McNeil. They're seeded 2. Another break point for Seles for her to go up by 5 games to 1. Second set, she won the first easily, 6-3. And that netted volley keeps Monica Seles' streak alive. She has not failed to break Toziat's serve after the first serve game that Toziat served in the match. 6-3 and 5-1. Monica Seles serving for the match. Great get. Good court coverage. Monica Seles broken in her first serve game of the match, and then in the first serve game of the second set also on serve, and then she turned on the afterburners and has run away with it. 30 love. Match point.
Especially with a player who can hit as hard as Monica. And shot for shot, I think she hits harder even than Steffi Graf. It's so terrific when she throws in that drop shot. The change pace is just too tough to deal with. A bit overplayed there. She kind of ran right into that forehand. Just a remarkable talent. She reminds you of absolutely no one. She's an authentic, her own star.
14-13.
Three in a row for Toziat, all match points for Seles, and we're back at deuce.
Advantage Seles.
Another match point for Seles.
Game set in Seles.
Monica Seles is through to the final of the Lipton for 1990. 16-year-old from Yugoslavia over Natalie Toziat, the #1 player of France, easily in straight sets. And in the next round in the final rather, she will play either Judith Wiesner or Conchita Martinez, 6-3 and 6-1. Natalie Toziat only able to win her serve game once in the match, and that was indeed her first serve game of the match. After that, Monica Seles took complete control of her serve, and it is reflected in the score. Seles in the final. Edberg earlier today in 3 sets. Remarkable. You can see they're all tiebreakers, but I cannot tell you how close those tiebreakers were without having a lot more time to do justice to it.